hello.
Oh, hello.
And welcome to the Comic Queens podcast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Annie. And today we're super excited to have you here with us. I am pretty excited about today. Alex and I decided to kind of try something new to end the year. And today we're going to be talking to you about some short stories that we've been reading, which is a little bit out of the ordinary for us. It's not really something we've dipped our toes into.
Yeah, I think probably each we've read like one until we gave ourselves this assignment and dove into a little bit more. So I'm interested to see what you think about all of the different ones that we've read.
I will say this has been an interesting experience. For context, Alex and I basically had a conversation saying we don't ever really read those short stories. And we're talking like 5 to 15 episodes, more or less.
I think we put the cap at 20 or less, but the highest amount of episodes that I read in this was 15.
Yeah, and the highest amount for me was 13.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we really did kind of keep these short. The ultimate goal is just Alex and I have a habit of binging series. And when two unhinged women who read webcomics constantly say, you can binge it in a day and it's 30-something episodes, that's not as feasible for a regular reader. And so for people who aren't super comic obsessed, it'd be a great way to dip your toe just reading one of those short series that's like 5 episodes, especially if you find one that's really good and gripping. Mm-hmm. I will say I have my own opinions, and I'll probably kind of reserve them for once I start delving into what I read. But I do still think that for me personally, I like binging those longer series. I think there's just like the ability to give you a bit more context. But Alex, go ahead and talk to us about some of the different short stories that you got to read.
Okay, so I had some mixed reviews for the short stories. All of the ones that I read were on Manta. It's pretty easy to find the short series on Manta. What I did is I just went to the completed filter, and then you can just start scrolling through the series. It gives an episode count, so I just started looking at ones that were 20 or less. And I guess you can't filter by short series, so it would be easier if you could do that, but it's still pretty easy to find them all. So I found the experience of trying to find them pretty easy overall, but I didn't dive into any other platforms. I know on Webtoon, it's not really easy to find them because they don't give an episode count unless you click into things.
I haven't even been able to search just for completed series on Webtoon either.
Yeah. So not as easy there. I didn't find any. There's one that I was reading, but that I read previously, but it was 23, so it didn't fit into our guidelines that we give ourselves, and I didn't want to cheat, so I'm not including it.
I will say there was also one that I read from Webtoon called Tomato. It is absolutely adorable. It's about a girl who goes to school and she blushes super bad. And her name is Yamato, but everyone calls her Tomato because her face is so red. It is absolutely adorable. And it is only 9 episodes, but it's not a completed series, so we don't know how long it's going to go.
Yeah, that's a good point. We did only do completed series because even if there are some that are shorter now, they may not always be short.
Yeah. They may not always be bingeable for everybody. Mm-hmm. This is about the masses.
Yes. So I did go into different types of genres. So I read some romance. I got into some drama, thriller, mystery. So I did a good variety fantasy. I did a good variety of different types of series to see what I liked, because the first 2 that I read were actually romance drama, and I didn't like either one of them really. So I thought, okay, I'm going to dive into something else because maybe the romance genre just doesn't translate well to a short series. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit difficult to get a full relationship into a short series and have it still impact you the way that if you've been reading about these characters for 90 episodes.
Yeah, it's just so hard to fit in all of that context.
Yeah. So the first one that I read was Words and Kisses. It's a girl love drama, and it is only 4 episodes long. And it wasn't a bad story. I just didn't connect with the characters. Again, I didn't like feel like their relationship was super close. So I don't know. That one I didn't really like. It just felt too short. It ended abruptly. It was 4 episodes. Then the second one I got into was the Kiss virus, which this one is a really interesting concept. So the Kiss virus, it says that you must kiss someone before you turn 17 or you'll go crazy. The reason that you will go crazy is because they gave everyone like a vaccine when they were young.
Uh-huh.
So it was a very interesting concept.
Okay.
Again, 4 episodes long. It's a romance drama. I didn't love this one either. It just felt like the concept wasn't totally my thing, and the ending was just kind of like meh. So not a great one. The last romance that I read was only 3 episodes long. It was called Talk to Me. It's a romance drama as well. And I actually really liked this one.
Interesting, because that's the shortest one.
It's the shortest one, but I felt like the characters had the most depth in their relationship, even in those 3 episodes, because it does do like a flashback for them to show that they knew each other when they were young. Like they went to school together and then one of them moved away to a different school. They end up reconnecting. They actually both work at, like as characters, you know, that have the like animal characters at a zoo or something. I don't know exactly where they are. So neither one of them, they both have issues that they're trying to deal with, and like they kind of come together and deal with them together.
Yeah.
And it's just a super, super sweet show that I recommend it. Like if you want to read a short romance, like I'm talking really, really short, that was a good one. So I kind of thought maybe romance isn't really my thing with the short ones. I only liked 1 out of 3. Now, the other ones that I got into were A Cat's Tale, which is mystery drama, Pound of Flesh, which is drama thriller, The City of Wind, which is fantasy drama, and Vision of the Night, which is drama mystery. I loved all of these. So the first one that I read, A Cat's Tale, it really reminded me of when you were asking for a series about sheep. So
that's all I needed to hear. I'm sold.
As soon as I started reading this one, I was so excited to tell you about it because it's about an intelligent cat who lives with this family and they move to a farm. And the cat is like retelling a story about his life on the farm.
Aww.
Oh, no.
Oh.
It's about a murderous chicken.
That's funny.
It is so good. I loved this one. It was 12 episodes long. It's book style.
Okay.
So, and it really like, it's intentional because it really affects the panels as you read them. Like there are moments that are really, really good because of the panel switch instead of a scroll. So I love this one. I really, really recommend you read it.
I will. I wish that there were sheep in it.
Yeah. There are no sheep, but there are a lot of chickens. And
I'm just saying this is like an epidemic of our age that there's not that many sheep stories.
I mean, but the vibes I think will fit.
Yeah.
So I recommend it. So the next one I read was Pound of Flesh. This is a drama thriller. It's 5 episodes long. It's about 2 women who start working at a new company where everyone shares their flesh.
Ooh.
Like they eat the flesh.
Ooh.
I was internally screaming the entire time I was reading this. I was so uncomfortable.
Ugh.
I don't think
Are you supposed to be?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I mean, it's a drama, it's a thriller. It is awful. I showed my husband and my brother-in-law, I made both of them look at this because I was so horrified reading this one.
You couldn't experience it by yourself.
Yeah.
You had to share the horror.
Yeah, and they were about to go pick up dinner for us, and like on the way out the door, I was like, look at this first. Okay, now you can go.
Your poor husband.
My
and
poor
brother-in-law.
husband and brother-in-law, but we all survived. We ate dinner later, but it was
Not pounds of flesh.
Not, oh my gosh, it was. I don't think I could have handled it as a long series. This is one where I really think the short series is good because that concept, I just didn't want to keep reading.
I will say, it sounds horrifying.
It was horrifying, but again, I recommend it. It was a good one.
I will not probably read it. That does not sound like it will work for the faint of heart. And that just is a concept that I don't think will sit well with me.
Yeah, I loved it. It was, I mean, I could
I'm
just.
happy for you.
I was so tense while I was reading it, but that's the point of a thriller.
That is the point. That is the point. And honestly, the fact that they're able to accomplish that in how many episodes?
5 episodes.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, so it was good.
Kudos. That is impressive.
They do give trigger warnings on it too.
Okay,
so,
thank goodness.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask.
Yeah. So the first one that I read was called The City of Wind. I read this one a while ago. We'll talk about this one more in our completed series later in the week. But this one is about 2 young boys who wander off this path and end up in another world where there are monsters. And it is a really, really good story too. Like this was the first one that I read and really got me thinking maybe we should try more short stories because I love this one so much. And so I definitely recommend you read that one as well.
Yeah.
And the last one that I read, called Vision of the Night, is a drama mystery. It's the longest one I read. Oh, I don't know if I said City of the Wind was 12 episodes.
Okay.
Vision of the Night is 15 episodes. It's the longest one I read. The art in this one is gorgeous. It's my favorite out of all of the short series that I read. And there were a lot of good different art styles in this, but this one is just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a drama mystery, and it's about Leo, who is like basically kidnapped as a child and then becomes an illusionist. I don't think that they call her an illusionist, but that's basically what she is. If she touches you, she can like make you see things that aren't there.
Yeah.
And so it's about her growing up, like she ends up finding her family again, and like about her journey, like being an illusionist and being the only one who can kind of do these things, and like wondering what happened to her when she was young, when she was kidnapped. And then basically a fire happens, and that's how she ends up going home to her parents, and she never knew what happened to the lady who kidnapped her, who she thought was her grandma. Like, it's really, really interesting. I recommend that one as well.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like there's a good variety.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I, along with you, did browse Manta, and we had made a list specifically of, like, all the short stories. I don't even think we got all of them, and there were, like, 58.
Yeah.
And the genres really do differ a lot on the platform. Like, again, if you just go on that search bar and search by completed, the episode count is right there for you. And like the genres go from like nonfiction, like there are some that are like purely educational. I mean, it really was an impressive array. So I'm glad that you kind of got to dip your toes into some new series.
Yeah. I would have to say though, if you're going to do short series, the drama mystery really lends itself well to those short series, because usually when you're reading a long series anyway, the like drama or thriller part of it is not the whole thing. So if you just want like an episode of a TV show, this is kind of like that.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I'm trying to think, like a Black Mirror.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I love it. So I recommend all of the drama mysteries that I read to anyone who likes a drama mystery.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, I'm going to have to read a couple of them. Honestly, they sound great. And
Yeah.
City of Wind, you've brought up to me before.
Yeah.
So I'll have to add that to my list.
You definitely
my ever-growing
do.
list.
Your ever-growing list. So I know that you had a bit of a different experience with this. So I'm dying to hear what you thought.
So first of all, a lot of my experience was just kind of trying to browse different platforms. I know that like you kind of focused on the Manta side. And since I've been dipping my toe into Leeson and I've been kind of like looking at other ones, I did try to take a peek at some that we don't even regularly read from. And just to kind of see, like, is it an easy thing to navigate, like to find yourself a short series specifically? I will say on Tapas, I had a really hard time navigating. This has been a platform I do have a hard time navigating in general, though. So that was unfortunate because I know there are so many good titles on the app, but I just couldn't find it for all of those short stories, let alone even just navigating for, giggles.
Yeah, that's one that I have. That platform is one that I have a handful of series that I read, and I kind of don't venture outside of those for that reason. It's just not super easy to navigate. So,
I know.
Yeah, I agree.
But I will say, as much as there are great titles, I just couldn't find any short ones on there. Mm-hmm. I tried to venture out. I really did. Tappy Toon also, it was a little bit easier to navigate because they do have a completed series, but they don't tell you the episode count. So unless you click in on the titles, you don't know how many episodes they have. And honestly, all of the stories that I had run into just in clicking on a bunch of them, they were longer series.
Yeah.
So it wasn't super easy to search. It's kind of the same issue we had with Webtoon, where you just don't know what series are completed. And if you do, you don't know how many episodes till you're really looking into each individual story. Mm-hmm. And it's very time consuming. So I will say maybe there needs to be a section on all of the platforms where it's daily bingeable series or something like that, where there's an actual section.
Yeah.
Now, I do also subscribe to Tumix, and I do pay for coins on Leezen. So I was able to kind of look at those platforms as well. And I kind of tried to focus on there for some variety. What I will say based on the both of them, it was significantly easier to find whether or not they were short episodes. Mm-hmm. Leezen was a bit easier because they do give you that episode count. But also Tumix is a little bit easier. You kind of have to go in a roundabout way. The one thing I'll say, they are not very diverse in their genres. So every single short series that I read, since the majority of them were on Tumix and Leezen, any that were on that platform, all boy loves. Which is very out of character for me specifically. So it was very funny because I'm sitting here wow, I read probably more boy loves than Alex has read in the last month. And that's new for me. That's a new experience.
Yeah.
So to start out, this was, again, a very varied experience. I think it's similar to how you read the romance drama. It's just hard to get all of that context from the story when there's not that many episodes. But there were some that I really did like. And it wasn't necessarily it had to be longer to be good. So I think it really just depends on the story growth, how they set themselves up, etc. But to start out, I'll touch on Leezen comics first. The short stories on Leezen were very varied. And what I noticed is that a lot of the short stories are short bursts. I'd almost say fetishized content. Mm-hmm. So it's very mature only stories, not safe for work. There were two that I read that honestly, I'm not even really going to delve into. There was Confessions of the Night, which is a story about a demon hooking up with a prince. Or not a prince, a priest. Very different. A demon hooking up with a priest. And that's all that it is. I mean, you never get character names. They're having a conversation, but you have no idea what they're even talking about. And you never get the context or closure. It's 4 episodes. So, I mean, if you're literally just wanting to see that setting of a demon and a priest hooking up, then that's for you. And that's totally fine. I was just looking for an actual story, and I don't feel like I got that. Mm-hmm. I feel like I saw a blurb from something that's probably longer. Mm-hmm. And it was the kind of same for Hit Me. This is also a fetishized content about a masochist. And it was 7 episodes of just kind of seeing somebody get the shit beat out of them. That's the best way to put it. And again, not yucking anybody's yums. If that's what you're wanting out of your short story, it's 7 episodes of very specific content for you. Mm-hmm. I just know, for me personally, I was looking for a story, and I feel like that was missing.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate. And the art was beautiful for both of them. It didn't quite give me what I wanted out of it.
So what did you try after those?
So after those, I did read Mary on the Rocks. I did try it out because it was written by Mascaretto, who I know we've made a separate, episode highlighting a lot of their works, and we'd never read this one. And it's a short story, 7 episodes total, I think it's like 2 epilogue episodes and 5 total like main story episodes. And it's about a guy named Noel and June who have like a one-night stand and then end up running into each other in really unfortunate circumstances. It is a really good story. You get the characters, you get like an actual growth. The epilogue like makes sense, and you can see the passing of time and like the growth of their hatred for each other, their growth for their like sexual tension, etc. It was like a really good depiction in a short story.
I'm not surprised coming from Masqueretta.
I know. There's no surprise there. The other one that I read on Leeson was actually called Love Meter 100%. This one was probably my favorite that I read out of all those short stories on Leeson specifically. It is 7 episodes total. And it's the story of Yihan, who is just a total otaku. So he's a video game nerd. He just likes playing his games. And he ships this character, Mikaros. He's like, this is my ideal man. He's got like teal hair. He's like a Prince Charming type. And he's like, he's got everything. He's got the Mikaros body pillow. He's got posters in his room. Like, he has just gone full-fledged nerd. And he goes, yeah, well, no one exists like this in real life. And then he sees, like, literally looks up from his Switch or his, like, Nintendo console. And then literally there's an identical guy, teal hair and all, right in front of him at his college campus.
Oh, my gosh.
And so it's just about how he's, like, trying to fall for him, but, like, realizes he's not the same as the video game character. It was a very cute story. I loved it. And again, like, I don't know if it was just that the 7 episodes allowed for the story to grow more or if it was just really well set up. But it was an actual story where, like, I enjoyed the characters. There was a comedy aspect. And it was one that I genuinely enjoyed and was like, I might go back and reread it. So, Love Meter 100%. I highly recommend, as well as Mary on the Rocks. And I will say, if you're wanting just, like, a short burst of content, they do have a lot of that. But it's almost exclusively boy loves.
Yeah.
So that's my little aside. Going to Two Mix. Again, this one is one where it was very specifically boy loves or very explicitly explicit content, which isn't usually my favorite. A lot of times the characters have like weird proportions, things like that. Again, just really fetishized content. But I did read 2 on Two Mix, and I had 2 very varying opinions. The first one that I read was How to Catch a Runaway Sheep. I obviously read this one because of the title. I mean, there's no hiding that one at this point. I will read anything that says sheep in it if it gets me the story that I want. Unfortunately, this did not. This was 9 episodes total. It was 5 main story episodes. And then weirdly, without any notice, the last 4 episodes were all like side stories with entirely new characters that weren't in the main comic at all. And then like that story just ended.
Interesting. So it's almost like 2 separate stories.
Oh no, it was like 5 separate stories. Because each side episode was a different short story with entirely new characters. It was very interesting, but it didn't tell you that it would be that.
Yeah.
The main story is about a guy named Hide, who is a newspaper journalist. And there's this like notorious mathematician doctor that they've been trying to get interviews with, like everybody has, because he's solved like this impossible problem. And he only responds to people on internet forums, refuses any interviews, etc. And Hide finds a way to find this Dr. Eli, and he essentially says like, I'm not leaving until you give me an interview. So it's just kind of about how like that hatred ends up growing into like affection. But in 5 episodes, like the fact that they said, I love you, it just feels weird to me because you don't see enough of their relationship together to see how they grew to that moment. Like nothing else sat wrong with me. The fact that he's a half sheep person, I was somehow okay with that. And to be honest, the art was beautiful. It was book style, so you scroll to the right.
I do like that.
And you got to flip through it like an actual manga. The art is like a manga style. And I really loved that. So the experience was really nice, like for actual reading, but when it came to the story, I just feel like it lacked a lot.
It's interesting that you didn't feel that the character, that it made sense that the characters said that they loved each other in that, because in Talk to Me, which was that one that I liked, that was a romance, that was only 3 episodes, one of the main characters does say that he loves the other girl at the end, and it really does make sense in theirs.
Yeah.
So it's all about how you kind of set up the story.
Yeah. And I mean, again, it's personal preference. Like, other people might have the different interpretation, I guess.
Yeah.
But for me, I was just like, I don't see any interaction that they've had that would insinuate they're in love with each other. You know what I mean? Now, the last one that I read on Tumix was You Are My Princess. This was 13 total episodes, and I loved this story. It is also manga style with the art, but it is scroll panels, so you just continue scrolling up to read the entire thing. Again, it's a boy love, and it is about a boy named Itsumi Tachibana, who is kind of known as the ruffian at school. They're both high school students, but he's known as the ruffian at school just because he has a hard exterior, but he's realistically a super softie. He finds stray cats outside and takes care of them, etc. Goes to a cat cafe to decompress. And then one day he gets called into the student council office by the student council president, who is he's known as the school prince, essentially. Everybody loves him. He's perfect. He's good looking. He's got great grades. He's enchanting. And to be just extra confusing, this student council president is calling him into the office, and Itsumi Tachibana is what did I do? Am I in trouble? What did I do? And so he walks in, and the student council president, Seima Takajo, says, "Oh, thank you so much for coming. I just wanted to tell you that I'm in love with you and that you are my princess." And Itsumi's completely taken aback. It's essentially about the growth of how they come to get to know each other better, etc. It is a very cute story. I highly recommend it. It made me laugh. And I did really love the characters. And I don't think that I love you was thrown out specifically, but the affection did grow throughout those 13 episodes. And so I did really enjoy that one.
Yeah.
So highly recommend if you're on the Tumix platform. That is a really fun one to read. Now, last but not least, I did read one off of Manta. And this was also drama mystery, mostly because I was so sick of the boy love, genre after all of this binging that I was man, I kind of need a break and a palate cleanser. The one that I did read was called The House in the Woods. It was 7 episodes. And again, it's a drama mystery. And I really do think that this short story style suits a lot of these mysteries.
Yes.
I mean, just from listening to you, you've had a similar experience to me, but this one was so good. So essentially, you don't really get to know any of the characters super well. There is essentially a young college student, 21-ish years old, and he's taking his regular walk through the woods and ends up stumbling upon this thatch-roofed house that he's never seen before. He's I've walked this path a billion times. Where did this house come from? And this old man comes out with a mask on. He's come here, come sit with me. And he's oh shit, what did I get myself into? So he sits down and the old man starts talking. He's I saw you in my dream and I've been waiting for you. Ooh. And I'm so glad that you came because now I can leave. And he disappears into thin air. And the guy is now trapped within a certain radius of this house.
Oh, fun.
It is such a gripping story from start to finish. And I mean, it is only 7 episodes, but so much happens in those episodes that you really are left with a feeling of satisfaction when the story is done. And it really does have that eerie mystery to it the entire time. I loved it. I think it was a great story. It did a lot in 7 episodes. And again, it took me 30 minutes to read a story.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't know what your overall experience was, so I'd love to hear it. For me personally, it was really interesting to see how the short series resided with me because it's not something we usually do. We're usually binging these crazy numbers of episodes all at once to try to catch up with a series or to finish one. And I do think that even in such a short amount of episodes, some of these stories are really impactful.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of, I mean, it's hit or miss, it's going to be the same even with long series too. Like, we don't love every long series that we've read either. But the drama, mystery, thriller, I love those as a short series. I've always loved things like Criminal Minds or Black Mirror, like those kinds of things that lend themselves to like
a psychological.
Yeah, psychological thriller. And the story is like all-encompassing in one episode, and it almost just feels like that. Like, these are just short episodes of like a longer kind of style that I really, really enjoyed. So I think I'll definitely read some more. I'm going to read the last one that you talked about, definitely. You read that here, and I could hear you in shock at several points and thought, okay, I'm definitely reading this one after we talk about it.
Poor Alex gets my live reactions. I'm very expressive.
I love the live reactions.
Not me just smacking your arm, going, oh my gosh.
So do you think you'll keep reading short series after this?
I do think so. I really like the fact that there are so many different genres. Honestly, I've seen more expansive genres in these short stories than I even have with the long form series.
Yeah.
And it might just be like, I mean, obviously you can only teach somebody so much about penguins. I know that's one of the nonfiction one was about. And so I do think that short form format is really good for specific genres or just kind of like expanding your tastes and getting a taste for something different. I think I'm going to continue to do it, but I'm going to specifically focus on not the romance, because I think that you're right. Like, the mystery really does sit well with that short form series. And I'd be curious how the rest of them fit too.
Yeah.
So I thank you all for kind of pushing us to do something different with our experience in reading. I think Alex and I had an overall pleasant experience with being able to read so many titles so quickly, because I like checking things off a list.
Me too.
That's nice for me to be able to say, yep, I finished that in a day. I'm so accomplished. But I will say it was a really good experience, and I think it'll help us to kind of change how we move forward with it.
Yeah, I agree.
So hopefully you'll join us on reading some of those shorter series. If you have any that you enjoy that you'd like for us to read and review, feel free to send us an email. It's always listed in the description. And we are so happy to have you here with us. Looking forward to talking to you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.